Breaking 11 U.S. coronavirus camps. Bitcoin halving. The economic collapse news. Cuts to Medicare, Social Security. Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and since 2016 I've been ringing the bell of the economic collapse, the bubbles from real estate to the stock market, and people have been laughing at me. Now we're at a situation where we're having a pandemic on top of an economic collapse. Okay, breaking 11 U.S. hospitals, camps, detention centers, quarantine. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. Is already happening in America, all over America. At major airports. That's some crazy stuff, guys, because mentally we're not prepared for what's about to come. I know I'm not. I had my head in the sand. You haven't seen me do videos. And because I didn't want to believe what's happening. Normally, I'm ahead of the queue, right? I was ahead of the queue in 2006, fourth quarter, seeing the crash coming, and a year later, boom. I was ahead in 2016 when I saw the massive bubbles from real estate, from entrepreneurship, people borrowing money, easy money, cheesy money. I called it on the gold when it was 1100 back in 2015, 2016 when I said gold's the play. And what's crazy is now I have my head in the sand and I became part of the sheep. I believe the news that, hey, everything's okay. And that's what they're talking about. In America, in our own country, they're talking about everything's okay. This is just like a flu, blah, 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 blah. But you see China taking major actions, from major quarantine, blocking people that are not allowing people to go out. They're, quarantine people. So what I challenge everyone to do is listen to a documentary of the Spanish flu. So please, back in World War I, the same exact thing was happening. If you just go and listen to it, exactly. If you listen to a documentary back of the Spanish flu, you'll see that how history repeats itself, and it'll look like it's deja vu, man. Like me and my wife were watching that last night, and I was like, man. And I think she's starting to become more a believer because 3 weeks ago I told her, let's get out of Dodge, let's go up to the mountains, and she said, no, we have kids and this and this. Now everywhere I go, I see people sneezing and coughing and what have you, right? And we're seeing this spread to multiple states. We're seeing this not being televised because when it was in China, it was the American media was really talking about it left and right. Now that has spread, it's like they're not covering it anymore. You know what I mean? It's very, very low, and which is kind of like putting our heads to the ground till they cut off the cities and tell us we can't come outside, and there's guys with guns coming to our homes. Which is a possibility, because if you saw exactly what happened in the Spanish flu, you can see exactly what's happening. It was shortages of masks, there was shortages of hospitals, and they were digging massive bodies to bury bodies instead of one grave at a time. And you can see that even though this flu was wiping out millions of people, not only in America and all over the world, Big Brother was still trying to go to war because we're in World War I, and there was sending, Big Brother was lying to the soldiers and putting them into this ships and small confined areas where it infected so many people and spread it to so many places. Not that they cared, they didn't care. Big Brother didn't care, right? So that's why I don't trust Big Brother. It doesn't matter if they're in China, if they're in India, they're in Pakistan, they're in our own backyard, because they have their own interest, and usually their interest is bought out by the lobbyists and the elites versus the common man. All right, so just pretty scary stuff that they have 11 camps set up for quarantine of the coronavirus. even though say it's not likely to happen here. Um, I'm not sure how it's gonna play, when they lock down people, because here's a crucial fact: studies done right recently that most Americans don't have 400, $1,000 laying around. So if people can't go to work for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, how are they gonna pay for this food? How considering that the price of goods are gonna probably go up higher, one because of all the printing of the money, but two of our disruption in our economy, disruption in our production because China produces everything, disruption of people not going to work because they're scared or businesses closing down. So the cost of goods going to even skyrocket. People are not working. So I believe that it can be even worse than the Great Depression, because not only we're going to have a Great Depression, but we're also going to have economic shortages of supplies. If it's your food, if it's your clothes, if it's your cell phone, if it's your bike, if it's your car parts, so on. Medical and so on, guys. So pretty crazy stuff if you ask me. Now guys, I want to talk about quickly about the Bitcoin halving. Unlike fiat currency like Japanese yen or Iranian or pesos or the dollar or whatever, the franc, whatever, Bitcoin is not in, what is the US word for it, in, there's no inflation in it, right? It's actually deflationary. So that means that there's less money as time goes by. So there's going to be less Bitcoin as time goes by. Versus, like, let's say the US dollar or the Canadian dollar. As time goes by, Big Brother will print out more money and dilute the buying power and cost the goods to go up. So what Bitcoin having is that there's going to be less Bitcoins being produced, aka mined. Okay, simple. So what does that mean? Well, there's less supply. There's less supply, and as more and more people will demand it, then you can see what's going to happen to this asset. In my opinion, not financial advice. I'm wrong a lot. I'm more wrong than right. Let me tell you that, guys. Okay, but I've been right, calling a lot of good stuff as well. Okay, but Bitcoin is mooning right now. Just a couple of months ago was at $3,500. Right, today is at 10 grand and climbing up to 11 grand. It just hit 10 grand. Just a couple of days ago, it was going 11 grand. Okay, so I'm excited about that because it's the people's money, is the freedom that we're looking for. Yes, everything's on blockchain, but on the other side, is decentralized, which means no corporations own it, no government owns it. It cannot be censored. It can't be, manipulated because of someone's interest. So I am speculating on Bitcoin. I think it's going to go pretty high. I think it's going to be the future of money. And hopefully I'm right because I got money invested into it, guys. So, and I know a lot of my students have, for example, in my profit sharing, couple of, a while back, I had given students free Bitcoin, and it was around $6,000. I had another group in my profit sharing that had given them Bitcoin. I think it was around $8,000 or $10,000, somewhere around that. I can't remember. The ones that got it at $6,000, that I gave them free Bitcoin, showed them what Bitcoin was, created a wallet for them, and, send them the money right to the internet in our meetings. They've already doubled their money. It's as simple as that. They just doubled their money. Whatever they got, they doubled that, right? And I'm sure some of them are more believers. And the reason I give my students free Bitcoin is because I just wanted to introduce it to a new way of being your own bank, a new way of, not being a slave, I guess, and having financial freedom, because no matter how much you save, it's going to get diluted because of the printing of the money. Now, I don't know about you, but Big Brother just plans on cutting, the safety net of America. That's what makes America great, is because you can be your dreams, you can go work, and if you fall down, there's programs that are going to help you. But at the same time, we got to remember that we put in money into this from all the years we've been getting taxed. So Big Brother wants to cut Medicare, they want to cut Social Security, and what they want to do is fund walls, and then they want to fund the military complex. Basically they want to pay Boeing and Lockheed Martin's, the elites, trillions and billions of dollars, but for the working slaves, or I should say citizens, what they want from us is to forget we just bailed a lot of the elites out in the 2006, 2007, 2008 meltdown. But what they want us to do is take less benefits that we already paid for. We already put the money into it for many years, right? And now what they want is to take that money and give it to the elite influencers like the Lockheed Martins and the biggest industry ever war, okay, and the bankers. So that's pretty crazy, guys. I don't know how that sounds, but in a time where we're about to have an economic collapse, we're about to have a pandemic in our hands, they want to rob the working class. That's pretty crazy, right? At the worst time ever, okay? Which is pretty, crazy. Now, they call it all kind of things like entitlement program, but I don't understand why they call it that, because if you paid into something, you're not entitled for it. You paid into it. You know what I mean? It's yours, right? The idea was you pay, and then when you get old, you can use that. So, now if they took that money and bought billion-dollar weapons and killed a bunch of innocent people with it, or spend it on a bunch of stuff that doesn't help us the people, then why should we pay for this, right? Why should our programs get cut? And so this is the reality we live in. And I know through school, through propaganda, we're all been brainwashed, to TV, to the Oscars, all this stuff. It's hard for us to see this, but that doesn't sound really fair. You paid all this money into this program since, let's say, high school, or whenever you started working. I started working when I was in junior high, right? I started hustling in high school. So what happens to all that, right? And why do we have to give it to the elites, bankers, and to the elites, bomb makers and merchants of death? Why do we have to give it to them, versus us? And that's what happens when you have hate in your heart, and you have so much discrimination, and you're prejudiced, that you want to build walls instead of taking care of your people, right? That's crazy, because in reality is, the immigrants are caused by us. The immigrants that are coming to America from Latin America, all of it, from El Salvador, Hungary, Guatemala, you name it. They're coming here because we are overthrew their government from the CIA. We have, favored our banana companies to enslave and take people's lands in all these third world countries like in Latin America, and we have created instability for our own interests, or corporation interest. Now we have all this flood coming in here, right? Just very, very simple. We bombed the shit out of so many countries in the Middle East. Now we have all these immigrants going to Germany, going to France, going to blah, blah, blah. And so, hey, we have to look inside, because we are the problem for all this bullshit, right? We're overthrowing all these governments. We're jacking up their economy because of our own interest, like Venezuela, we try to, etc. And most of us are not educated to take the time to research this stuff, and we just listen to the propaganda on corporate TV that's owned by just a handful of old families, and we think that's the reality. But the reality is, man, we're just slaves in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have a bunch of rental houses, even if you have businesses, unless you own them free and clear, you're just a slave to the system, because what they have done is created a bunch of propaganda for you to be a consumer, and it's hard for the average person, no matter how much money they make, to not be a consumer and not to have that flash and get the next biggest 2.0, 3.0, because they created a cancer inside of you. They planted a seed inside of us, and it's hard to believe, it's hard to digest, but that's why I give all my stuff up to the homeless, like Buddha did and like Jesus did, because and it has opened my eyes like never before, right? I was the guy that wanted to get more and more and more accumulations and more success. No matter how much success I had, I was still hungry to get more, right? And so, guys, I'm just trying to be real with you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Um, there's a price you got to pay for success, right? And I'm not talking about in the work and the effort, but in one part, selling your soul, for money and for material things, and not doing the right things. Like think about what sales is. Sales is just to sell you something. Think about what advertisement is, to convince you, right, that you need this, that you don't smell good, that you're too short, you're too fat, you're deficient in this, you don't have accumulations in this. Like the Joneses got more, Bobby got more, Sally got more, you're this. Okay. That's all that is. I mean, instead of spending our time and energy in sales and marketing, imagine if we really try to help each other out. um, you know so I guess I'm kind of going a little too deep, guys, but once you watch this documentary, right, about the Spanish flu, it helps you realize what's going on. So now the economic collapse news is that, hey man, big industries are slowing down all over America, all over the world. The factory of the world is shut down because of coronavirus. We're having inequality. The working class are now going to get pinched more and more. As I just said, Medicaid, Social Security. You can see the uprisings in France with the Yellow Vest movement. Most people are not even paying attention to that. They don't talk about that. Firefighters against police, the citizens against the government. We're having a lot of different crazy stuff, but there's also great opportunities too. Like I just said yesterday, there's people selling masks on Amazon. I looked at maybe just a couple of days ago, and it was $32 for this 3M. Today, or yesterday, actually, not today. Yesterday, I looked at it before I did my live video, and it was like 56, 57 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. All right, and it had almost doubled, right? And I was like, dude, see, there's opportunities and everything. Not that I say this is right and that's what entrepreneurs should be, because I don't like that. That's like hoarding, and But the point I'm trying to make is there's opportunities. It doesn't matter if there's blood in the streets or if everything's going up. And talking about everything going up, guys, the stock market is rigged, in my opinion, not financial advice, because no matter if there's war, no matter if people are dropping dead, no matter if whatever, stock market keeps going up, dude. People are don't have parts to make phones, I don't have parts to make cars, but stock market keeps going up. And you have to be in denial, I mean, in my opinion, to not realize that it's rigged. It's rigged. There's Ghostbusters, they call Ghostbusters, and they come out and bail out and just buy stocks and rig the game. They print money and they rig the game. It's not a true, fair game, because they have access to the printing press, and everyone else exchanges their life energy for that printing press, right? And that's something to think about, guys. That's something to think about. They're just printing it. People closest to the money get it for 0% or for free. Everyone else has to work for it. They have to use their life energy to accumulate it, and then they sell you on how ugly or how short or how unsuccessful you are, how deficient you are, right? And you need these accumulations to have more, right? And it's done through high school, it's done through elementary, it's done through your parents, your grandparents, it's done through the TV shows, it's done through the music, it's done through the television, and how you're not cool. But let me tell you this, man. You're an amazing being. You're so powerful. If you just believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything. And I think that us as humans, if we all put our minds together, we can solve this coronavirus. We can solve the hunger problem. We can solve the poverty. We can solve, create things where we don't have to work. Like, we're not put on earth just to be workers. That's why, we have intelligence. And because of few families, because of few greedy people that have enslaved the whole world, and One great example is, the fiat dollars, right? The world reserve currency that we have, that we're entitled to. We trade fake paper, and we get the oils of all these countries. We get the bananas of all these countries. We get the diamonds of these countries. We get the rices of these countries. And people have to work and put sweat equity and use nature and use all these real world resources, but we get it for, fake printing of money. So, you got to think about what's going on for yourself, and that's why I do my videos. Now, guys, if you're interested in, capitalizing on what's coming, which is floods of foreclosures, in my opinion, what I call subject to heaven, where there's going to be so many sellers that can't sell, and they're just willing to let you take over their house payments, or they're willing to become your private bank and finance the deal for you. If you're interested, I got 2 programs to help you with that. The very first one is where I give you access to my academy, unlimited access. You get my best-selling courses plus free coaching on a monthly basis. You get monthly coaching plus the academy for just $97 a month. Okay. If you need more help, you need someone to hold your hand, if you need someone to watch over your shoulder, then what you need to consider is to join my profit sharing coaching. The profit sharing coaching is it's not for everyone. It's $3,000 for 1 month of coaching. Okay. Plus you get $9,500 worth of business tools you need. What do I mean by business tools? We give you the paperwork to give offers. We give you your own storefront. Okay, we give you so many different things, guys. We show you how to make sales videos that convert. We show you how to do emails that convert. We show you how to talk to sellers, where to find them for free. You don't have to spend any money. We show you my Flipping Wednesdays, where I show you how to find people locally without doing door hangers, without doing cold calling, without doing bandit signs, without doing Facebook marketing. And it's totally for free in the comfort of your own home. I know it's hard to believe, but trust me, I'm a refugee to America. I started 3 businesses with just $100. I pulled my belt, slept in my car, and I gifted all. And over 25 years of experience, I'm letting you download with me. So 3K, me and you, one-on-one coaching for 1 month, and I'll give you all the tools you need to have your business set up. Just kind of like buying a franchise without the royalty fees, guys. Okay. And then we'll split the profits on one deal 50-50. So if you're interested in the profit sharing 3K, MrNoFluff.com. If you're interested in the academy, go to academy.MrNoFluff.com, or just go to MyRealEstateDojo.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Click the like button. Let me know what state you're in. Let me know your thoughts of the 11 camps that they built for us in America, if you're in America. Thank you so much. Much love.